Growing up as a kid, I always thought, I would be into like first person shooters or, you know, just games that general people enjoy, which is, just shoot 'em ups, usual games. But, growing up with a dad who basically just loved anything and everything, but really drew into, RuneScape, Diablo, um, what else is there? Pillars of Eternity, Dungeon Keeper, just all those random strategy games, things that give you a little bit of planning, things that you have to spend a little bit of time to think. Never thought I would get into that. And, I was into most games, every game, basically. I would play, you know, Resident Evil right here. Not the biggest fan, wasn't big into like one or three, but two, four, five really drew me in. But the biggest games that really drew my attention, and I gotta thank my dad for that. Guy's a hardcore gamer, still gaming to this day. Homeboy's like 56, and he's still gaming. Whatever I send him, he buys it, plays it, gets back to me. And you know, he really shaped the things that I'm into now and still hold true. I'm 30, big into, whatever game comes my way that draws my attention. Recently, and I think I wouldn't say it's because of the Warhammer hype, because I've been hanging out with buddies that have been into Warhammer for years. I've always talked about it with them. They've really drew me in with the lore, and that's something I have to appreciate about what I'm going to talk about today. And that would be, Warhammer Rogue Trader. It's made by Owlcat, and goddamn, I've already sunk in like 150 hours, and I copped it on sale. Holy shit. Like, I thought Baldur's Gate 3 was pretty game changing, and granted it is. It's obviously still one of my top, 5 games, and would recommend to everyone. If you got the time to sit down and really dive into the story and really enjoy what that game has to offer, you'll love it. If you're trying to dip your feet into some like deep lore, and that involves Warhammer, because I know everyone's hopping off the hype of Space Marine 2 and, trying to find something else that feeds that itch of Warhammer. And I mean, I can't recommend any more than this game. I mean, Rogue Trader is hands down one of it's up there in my top 10. I would say top 10. This thing is a fucking beast of a game. My buddy and I were hanging out, not too long ago, talking about games, and something that kind of feeds the itch of what we want. I really enjoy XCOM. Big fan of XCOM. Like I said, Baldur's Gate, great game. This game just kind of hits everything that I want. It's not too convoluted with the strategy. Like, yeah, there's a lot of buffing, there's a lot of movement and placing of your characters, but it's got the story of what I want in that world, which gives me just a lore dump. Like, I find out new shit about, different races in the game, the demons, the gods, all that. And then it gives me the relationships that I want with my crew members. Basically, the whole premise of the game, have a crew, you take it over, some shit happens within the previous owner, and you are the next in line to take up. You basically make your own character, create your own class, and then from there, you have your own ship and you form a crew. You have 6 people, you, 5 others. You form a crew, you can make your own people, you make your own full crew of whatever you want, soldier, all that. If you really want to get the meat and potatoes of the game, basically want to have the main characters with you. That really forms kind of a bond amongst everyone. Like, you can see the interrelationships between the people and who has issues with who, and who's, who aligns with what. And a lot of your choices matter, which is great. I enjoy games that really thrive upon what you choose as a person. Like, you can play into being a piece of shit, heretic who's just all about the chaos, gods, and, sacrificing people. Or you can go the dogmatic route, stick true to the emperor, full religion base. Or you can be ironclad, which is just being good, want to have everyone on your side. And generally, that's what I played on my first playthrough. I was playing as sniper, marksman, just, crit shot and everything across the entire board. Recent one, because I like this game so much that I'll just start over right then and there, and then dump in like 20 to 30 hours, no problem. I created a heretic. I find it kind of hard because Normally I play games to be in the center, where I just choose kind of the righteous path or the good path, but, playing Heretic, oh man, the shit that you can do in that game is so brutal, but it's fun. It's great, Honestly, a fantastic game. I can't stop talking about it. I call my buddy, him and I will sit there and talk about it for, an hour or two, just like what we want to do as a build and what we'd want to do with our characters. It's fun. I haven't had that type of conversation with a buddy since, Baldur's Gate. And granted, this is the same guy. We'd sit down, went to his house a couple weeks ago, and we just sat there and talked and talked and talked and, thinking of builds. And that's what made me do my Heretic run, which was, I went with the Blade Dancer, and then I went Executioner, and, just dumping that DPS, and then being able to do, like Pyro. So you can do a lot of mixed matching with things. Like you can do a Psyker build into Pyro, or you can do a body enhancing one where you buff out your stats. And then you have other characters that do the same shit where they can buff you and you can just be a tank and run through and mop everything. But I mean, for the Warhammer itch that everyone I feel like is on right now, this is it. It's, Warhammer Space Marine 2. You get the general like Space Marine story and what they do as a group, but this is like the guys that voyage out. You have space battles. Granted, the space battles aren't extravagant. It looks like Battleship essentially, but it's still extremely fun. I was not a fan of it at first, but once I got to actually dive into it and understand the general gist of it, fantastic. I mean, you have so much shit you can do in the game, and man, I can't recommend it more. And I highly think people should go and buy it. If you want to save money, obviously buy it on sale. I have to say this game it's up there for me. It's, like I said, in my top 10. I wish people would play more of it. I wish people would be talking about it more. Granted, while I'm doing this talk, it'll be gameplay of shit. I'm going to have, shots of me doing shit with my Heretic. And, granted, people are going to judge me for how shitty I play. I'm not a min-maxer at all. I just, go in, play on normal difficulty. If I feel confident, I'll go in, play on a harder difficulty, and then really dive into the stats. Even though that is what I like to do when I play these games, I do like to figure out on my own what to do. I try not to look up shit online to break the game. Eventually I do after I play my first playthrough, and I'll, be that min-maxing asshole. Definitely can say that this game is up there, and I hope people go out, buy it, whether it's on sale, full price, whatever. Highly recommend this game to anyone who wants that itch. Space Marine 2, completely different game. It's all third-person shooter, hack and slash, but this, if you want some strategy, Baldur's Gate, because I know a lot of people play that shit, have at it. But this is just kind of my little gist of what I think of Warhammer Rogue Trader. Owlcat, next game that comes out, which I believe is, I'm not sure if it's Solasta, whatever it is. I tried playing that a while ago, but I think I'm going to give it a shot again, and then I'll probably have another video out. Sorry that it's not horror related, guys, but, the horrors of Warhammer 40k are out there. If you really dive into that shit, the Dark Eldar, not cool. Not cool. Shit they do is pretty fucked up. But, yeah. Please leave comments what you think about the game. If you got builds, you recommend or whatever, just shoot them in the comments. That'd be dope. And if, what I have to say is not cool, just let me know. If you guys are cool with this type of shit, these reviews, I generally play these types of games. I'm not a horror video game guy, but that could be content for later on, because James is the same way. Hayden is more of the horror guy, so let me know. I would like to do more of this shit. I can, recommend games, and I've probably played them, but I can do reviews and replay them and whatnot. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Peace out. Once again, it's Hans from Dead Man's Podcast, and have a great one. Goodbye.